Kamusta kayo mga amigo at amiga, and this is the Señorito Jake De Leon, and you are listening to the 123 podcast.
In my career, in what could have been the absolute worst night, in what was literal hell, I was not cynical, I was not jaded, I stood, I fought. You fucking mug! These people, these are all my people because they acknowledge me. You think you know me?
Welcome to the show where we talk anything and everything wrestling. Welcome to the 123 podcast. How are you guys doing today? I'm back. I am finally back after what seemed like forever. But yeah, I am back and I'm very, very excited to be here today. I mean, it's been 7 months since I recorded the last episode of the show. But yeah, I mean, lots of things have happened in those 7 months. I finally graduated from senior high. I am now an incoming college student. I am enrolled to one of the most well-known universities in my hometown, and yeah, I've been doing great. Life's been great, and I'm very, very excited to see what the future holds for me. I am the happiest that I've ever been in such a long time. And yeah, I am very optimistic of the future ahead of me. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to be here today. I mean, it's been a while since I've last been in front of a mic. Like I said, it's been 7 months. And it's nice to finally just sit back in front of a mic, just chilling, basically. And yeah, I mean, I just wanted to come in here and say what I think and what many other wrestling fans think right now. And that is the wrestling business has been booming. Like, trust me when I say that being a wrestling fan is cool again. It is starting to become really cool again. I mean, I recently introduced someone to professional wrestling. I think she likes it. She sims over Roman Reigns, by the way. So whoever's that little friend that I'm talking about, shout out to you. Keep on acknowledging your tribal chief. But yeah, I mean, the wrestling business in 2023 has been booming. If you were to say that to me as a wrestling fan back in, let's say 2018, 2019, if you were to tell that guy that, oh, in just a few years' time, being a wrestling fan would be cool again, wrestling would be fun again, I probably would have laughed at you. I would have been like, dude, shut up. Dude, just shut up. But somehow, professional wrestling is fun again. Like, let's talk about the WWE for a sec. Let's talk about creative, first of all, in the WWE. Ever since Triple H took over creative, let's face it, the storylines that we're seeing right now are some of the best storylines that WWE has ever done in such a long time. And the catalyst for all of that has been the bloodline. The bloodline has been a money maker for the WWE during the last few years or so. Bloodline segments right now are reaching ratings that they've never reached before. Like, can you imagine that? I mean, we have stars like Roman Reigns, so of course, we're gonna get like a million plus viewers in like a segment or anything like that. But let me give you guys a reality check here. This was a guy who everyone despised back in 2015 up until 2020. And now he has been a moneymaker for the WWE alongside his cousins, by the way. Jimmy and Jay, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, of course. Like, I cannot stress to y'all enough. The Bloodline storyline is legitimately one of the greatest storylines, not just in the WWE, but in all of professional wrestling, especially with Hunter's the slow burn element that Hunter has already implemented in every single storyline in the WWE right now. The whole Bloodline storyline has already been good prior to Hunter taking over, but when he added that slow burn aspect in the storyline, it just made things 10 times better. Like, because of the slow burn element, you just had to tune in every week. You had to tune in to SmackDown every week to see what Jay is up to, what Roman is up to, what does Roman need to do to get into Jay's head, and vice versa. Will Solo finally pull the trigger on Roman Reigns and attack him? Like, you just had to be there. But it's not only the Bloodline storyline that is being given a spotlight in the WWE. Let's move over to Monday Night Raw. We have the Judgment Day, right? We have the Judgment Day. Finn Balor is in the best place that he's ever been in such a long time, creatively, because he now has this depth to his character, which is really, really cool. Damian Priest is finally getting the spotlight. Like, for me at least, Damian Priest is probably the most over Latin American WWE superstar. Like, the WWE is trying their best to push Santos Escobar, but Damian Priest has been that. Damian Priest has been the moneymaker for the Latin American community of wrestling fans or WWE fans. Rhea Ripley, probably one of the most over female wrestlers right now. She's super over that you just, like, immediately when Rhea pops into your screen, you just get immediately hooked. That's the power of mommy, by the way. I'm kidding. But yeah, Rhea Ripley is super over that once she pops into your screen, you just get hooked. And let's just not talk about Dominic Mysterio, man. Like, Blood is getting the most nuclear of heats everywhere he goes, man. Like, you just cannot deny that Dominic Mysterio has improved over the past year or so. It's just great. Like, to see the growth of Dominic Mysterio from like this little kid who's trying to follow in his father's footsteps to now being this made man. It's really great. You have all four of them. And over to Monday Night Raw, we have the dissension of the Judgment Day. Damon Priest, like I said, he's getting the spotlight. He is Mr. Money in the Bank, or Senor Money in the Bank. And Finn Balor's increasing paranoia is driving the Judgment Day down. And you just had to be there. You just had to be there every week on Monday Night Raw. You just had to be there to see, like, oh, will Finn's paranoia grow increasingly by the weeks? Or will Damien Priest finally just break free from the Judgment Day? Like, you just never know. And, with all that traction that the WWE is getting every week, Raw, SmackDown, that translates to TV ratings. Like, the WWE has been doing such amazing numbers in the last year. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bloodline segments are getting way too many million viewers just for that one segment. Like, the Bloodline getting 3+ million viewers is starting to become a normal occurrence. And you just love to see it. Like, everyone is falling in love with watching wrestling again. And it's not like back then, like back in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, where you just felt like watching 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown were a drag. It's like now you're looking forward to every episode of Raw because Seth Rollins is continuously proving that he is a fighting champion now that he's the world heavyweight champion. or you're now looking forward to Fridays on SmackDown because you see the bloodline just crumbling slowly. Like Raw and SmackDown have become must see television again. And you just love to see it. And if we're talking ticket sales, the WWE has been doing such amazing ticket sales as well. Like recently, SmackDown sold out Madison Square Garden. And that is considered as the most attended SmackDown in history. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it's considered as. Pay per views are starting to become must see as well. I mean, it's not like before when pay per views were just held for the sake of being held or, as fillers for the big four, the big five right now. It's not like that anymore. Like, even the most random pay per views are getting tons of traction. Backlash this year. Backlash this year was held in Puerto Rico, the first WWE pay per view in Puerto Rico since 2005. And it did amazing numbers, partly because Bad Bunny was featured in that show. Like, everyone was just rocking. Like, you could definitely tell that every seats were filled because the place was just super loud. Especially when Bad Bunny made his entrance. Everyone was singing along, everyone was rocking like there was just a wrestling show in the middle of a Bad Bunny concert. Recently, Money in the Bank was held at the O2 Arena. And it sold out the O2. SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, they're now stadium shows. WrestleMania is now a two-night event. And it recently sold out SoFi Stadium for 2 straight nights. Like, in terms of ticket sales, WWE pay-per-views or premium live events are doing amazing rates. But let's talk about what's happening in those shows. Like I mentioned earlier, pay-per-views are now must-see television as well. That's because there are big things happening in every pay-per-view. Like the Royal Rumble this year. Cody returned and won the Royal Rumble match. And after the main event of the show, which was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens, we finally saw Sami Zayn breaking free from the bloodline. The next month, Elimination Chamber, held at Montreal. We got one of the loudest pops in the WWE as Sami Zayn enters the ring in the main event of the show, going up against Roman Reigns. Let's mention Backlash. Bad Bunny tweaked in his match against Damian Priest. Zelina Vega became a star that night. Like, even if her match with Rhea that night was just like a few minutes long, it was in that match where Zelina proved that she could hang with the big guns in the women's roster right now. Let's also talk about Night of Champions. That's where Jimmy Uso delivered the super kick heard around the world. The next month, Bloodline Civil War, Money in the Bank. The Usos finally conquer Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Jay finally pinned Roman. The first time that Roman's been pinned in 3.5 years. Like, you just have this urge that something big is gonna happen in every show. With pay-per-views right now, it's just amazing to see. In terms of ticket sales, they're doing so good that you just love to see it for the wrestlers because higher TV ratings equals more ad revenue. When you combine higher ad revenue to higher ticket sales, it's just a ripple effect. Like, everyone gets good pay, like from the wrestlers to the backstage personnel, the executives, if they ever get paid. I assume they really don't because I assume they don't need it because they're like big, rich individuals at the end of the day. But everyone is getting great pay. Everyone is getting great pay. I could be wrong. So if my math is adding up, like more ad revenue plus more ticket sales, more merch sales too. We're gonna get to that later on. Equals more pay for the wrestlers, the personnels, the writers, and everyone involved. So let's talk about merch sales. Merch sales in the WWE alone have been making the highest numbers they've ever made in any era. Higher than the Attitude Era, higher than the presumed peak of professional wrestling, higher than the Attitude Era. Can you believe that? I mean, it makes sense because the WWE shop is more accessible to everyone now than back then, back in 1999. But can you guys believe that? At the time where everyone shames you for wearing wrestling merch outside, the WWE is making higher merch numbers, higher than the Attitude Era. Dude, what an amazing feat for the WWE. So yeah, WWE is just on fire. But let's not count AEW out. Recently, they had Forbidden Door. It sold out Scotiabank Arena, and they put on one hell of a show. Let's not talk about the backstage stuff with AEW right now, especially with the Elite and the other guy. I'm not even gonna mention his name here. Let's ignore that. Forbidden Door was great, and in just a few weeks' time, AEW is gonna be having All In at Wembley Stadium. And at the time of this recording, they have sold 75,000 seats. The number two wrestling company in the entire world is about to sold out the goddamn Wembley Stadium. That's where every big concert happened. Live Aid, Michael Jackson's Bad Tour, one of the most attended concerts in history, were held at the Wembley Stadium. And now Tony Khan and AEW are just a few thousand away from selling out Wembley Stadium. It's just amazing, man. Like, after the hell that we went through as fans over the past few years, that being aggravated by the goddamn pandemic, we deserve this. We absolutely deserve this. The wrestling business is healthy again, and to us fans, it's just great to see because everyone is getting great pay. Everyone is finally getting to showcase what they're capable in this mainstream media. And both companies are doing great. Like, this is a hard pill to swallow for some fans, but competition is a healthy thing. Not just the wrestling business, but any other business as well. Competition is a great thing. It's a healthy thing to have. Like, let's talk about fast food for a sec. Here in the Philippines, there are two big fast food companies, Jollibee and McDonald's, and they're clashing head to head. And they have their target audience, they have their target community. And both those restaurants are doing great. In the world of sports, let's talk about basketball for a sec. For collegiate leagues here in the Philippines, we have the UAAP, the NCAA, not to be confused with the US's NCAA. There's still competition in collegiate leagues. And that's what drives those two leagues to do better. Now let's move over internationally. The NBA is not the only basketball league that exists in the US. There are still other leagues that you could choose. Like, there are lots of alternatives. Same thing goes with MMA. It's not just the UFC that's thriving right now. We now have the PFL. We now have ONE FC and other MMA promotions. Competition is great for any business because that's what drives companies to do better. So let's just enjoy everything that we're getting while we have it. Like as fans, like we should just enjoy everything that we have right now. As wrestling fans, we should just enjoy everything that we have right now. Whether it may be in the WWE, whether it may be in AEW. We should just enjoy it while we have it because we're never gonna get this boom again. Like we previously thought that there wouldn't be another wrestling boom. And now we're here. So let's just stop the tribalism. Wrestling's great again. Being a wrestling fan is fun again. So let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it while we have it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed. I apologize if I ramble just a little too much in this episode. I'm just a little rusty. Just a little rusty because I haven't done this in quite a long time. So forgive me with the ramblings and stuff. But yeah, it's great to be back here. It's great to be back in front of a mic. Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm just making up for lost time here, and yeah, I cannot wait to record more episodes in the future. So yeah, I cannot wait to see you all there. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed. If you guys are listening to this podcast on Spotify, please give this a 5-star rating. It'll definitely help with the algorithm and stuff. If you guys are listening to this on YouTube, please like, please comment, please subscribe. It'll definitely help out the channel a lot. And yeah, cannot wait to make more content. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been JM. This has been the 123 Podcast. Peace.